Hidden beneath the jungles in Indonesia lies a cave system so enormous that explorers only recently discovered that it may be the longest underwater cave in all of Southeast Asia. More than 5 kilometers of submerged tunnels. In today's episode on the Dive Saga channel. This episode has been made possible with the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Stay tuned to find out how you can get a discount on your own Insta360 camera. I've been spending the last 5 episodes in Southeast Sulawesi in Indonesia, teaming up with local cave diver Chaca to explore the caves under Baobao and Muna Island. This karst region is rife with caves of all kinds. We climbed over collapses, swam through wide open spaces and saw the most decorated galleries. Even underneath our own campgrounds were crystal white limestone caves. The variety of caves here is truly insane, and today we are diving the longest one yet. But before we go, I need to do some research so I can plan some shots. We have a super cool dive schedule today here in the Laulawi Cave in Sulawesi. And like what often happens is that I have one shot at a dive, like in this case, and it's a scooter dive, and I've never been there. And so it's incredibly hard to figure out shots. And so I always do like a little bit of research and try to see what other people have done with the place. And there's a really cool shot from a photographer, I think his name is Pete Measley, of this super crazy well-lit table. And I often do that, like I'll look up inspiration, and I'm not gonna copy it one-on-one. I've done it before, like if you've seen our episode about Felicitas Mine, for instance, I borrowed a little bit from Alex Dawson, some of his photos, just because I don't know what I'm going to find. And if I have to figure out in the spot how to light everything, there's just no time for that. Luckily, local cave diving expert Chaca is incredibly gifted at drawing the most detailed maps. Often, his local knowledge is pretty much the only information I can get here before a shoot, and all the rest is improv. Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
We are on episode 6 of our Caves of Sulawesi series, so I'm sure that by now you guys know the script. We load our car and head into the Muna countryside in search of Laulawi Cave. Time for a first impression of Laulawi Cave. As always, Chaca is most excited to show me today's dive site. Laulawi lies a little bit deeper than the caves we've dived in this series so far. 108 steps to be exact. That reminds me once again to be grateful to our porters Ronnie and Aki who help us with equipment transport, especially today when we will also have scooters to deal with.
Wow, look at this, huh?
I was somewhat surprised that anyone would have gone through the trouble to pour a cement staircase here just for the occasional cave divers. But of course, there are other reasons to want access to Laulawi Cave. What's with all the pipes? As with the other caves, the aquifer is of vital importance for drinking water and agriculture. But there's so many.
Yeah.
But they take, water. It's a lot of, no? Beautiful. And there it is, the access gate to over 5 kilometers of underground rivers. And even this dry section is actually quite decorated and interesting. There is more, eh?
Sorry?
It's a big dry cave also, or?
No. Yeah. But it's water. But it's small water.
Yeah. Time to set up our cave diving equipment and our Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Two of them even, because this is a continuous scooter dive with no time for frequent stops. We have to get a little bit creative to rig the scooters because it's not super evident to film and scooter and dive at the same time. So I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch of Insta360 Ace Pros on there. You already know that I'm a big fan of the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 because of how it performs in low light environments like these. And because there is no way to stage lights anywhere, the cameras and the lights have to travel with us. That's a lot of zip ties, to be honest, but sometimes that's the only way. Because I want one camera facing forward, one camera facing backwards, and then two lights. So I think, and then of course a float arm to offset the weight of the lights. I think this is pretty good. And now the lights. Now the lights on the side. I will have one Ace Pro 2 pointing forward as the main camera and one pointing towards me for selfie shots. Both set to a wide field of view, recording at 4K 60. The lights on the side of my scooter serve to light the environment around me. Chacha will have a light on his scooter pointing forward. The Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is the only action camera who delivers this kind of quality for these types of demanding dives. You can get your own Insta360 Ace Pro 2 from the link below or the QR code on screen with the code DIVESAGA. You get a discount or a bundle deal, and we get to keep making quality scuba diving content. Alright, pre-dive checks done, lights on, scooters on. Time to venture into the belly of the beast. And what a beast it is, because at 5.2 kilometers or 3.2 miles mapped, Laulawi may well be one of the longest, if not the longest, underwater cave in all of Southeast Asia. And we're giving you a front row seat through the first 2 kilometers or so. The early passages of Laulawi Cave have some breathing room overhead. but it's generally easier and more efficient to just keep scootering underwater. It's good to know though that on our way back, in case of an emergency, we have surface access well before we reach the exit. Learning how to plan cave dives safely is an essential part of cave training, but planning overhead scooter dives is a whole separate discipline, involving selecting speeds, leaving higher speed options for the way back in case of an emergency, and of course incorporating specific scooter model performance into the dive plan. Even planning to account for reduced scooter performance when towing two divers out in case of failure. Scooter diving is a great way to cave dive, but also a great way to get very far into trouble very fast if done without training and forethought. This is the room with the stalactite table we saw during our research before the dive. I would love to turn this photo idea into a moving film shot. But I think we'll leave it for the end of the dive when we have a clearer view on how much dive time we have left at our disposal. For now, let's work our way further into Laulawi Cave. As mentioned earlier, Laulawi Cave is over 5 kilometers long. This was only established as recently as 2024, 2 years before the shooting of this film, when an international scientific expedition called Expedition Buteng mapped more than 5.2 kilometers of underwater passage inside the system, officially making it the longest underwater cave system in Southeast Asia at the time. Even after that discovery, large sections of the cave remain unexplored. One of the reasons Laulawi Cave is so significant is because it's not just a cave. As we saw at the entrance, it is an important freshwater source for the region. The cave forms part of a giant underground aquifer where rainwater filters through porous limestone and collects underground. Researchers involved in Expedition Buteng specifically focused on hydrology, geology, and groundwater conservation, because the cave system plays a major role in storing fresh water beneath Muna Island. It seems like we're about to hit a bit of a restriction, which is of course even trickier when holding scooters. Restriction cleared, and no more surface access from here on. The passages are getting so large that they are hard to light, and we are like tiny fireflies zooming through. I don't know if it's obvious, but I can tell you that this way of diving, if done safely, is really fun. What makes Laulawi Cave scientifically fascinating is that it may have been formed by two completely different geological forces working together over immense periods of time. During Expedition Buteng, researchers identified a series of ancient terraces inside the cave, evidence that Muna Island itself slowly rose due to tectonic activity over thousands or even millions of years. As the island uplifted, underground water routes shifted deeper and deeper through the limestone, creating new flooded passages while older ones were abandoned above them. Time to turn the dive, because we still have a cool shot to recreate near the entrance. As we're cruising back through Laulawi's vast underwater tunnels, I start wondering. If this system was only properly mapped as recently as 2 years ago, and Muna Island with its karst underground is still so lush and unexplored, then how many more of these massive hidden waterways are sitting here, waiting to be discovered? If you're a cave diver, this is definitely a region to keep on your radar. We've arrived back at our table of stalactites. To best recreate our shot, we light it from behind, using the stalactite's translucency as a light diffuser. Chaca has a light on his scooter pointing towards himself and one on his back, illuminating the environment. Let me know in the comments if you think that shot recreation was a success. And with that, playtime is over and we need to make our way back to the entrance and up the 108 steps.
Wow. Wow, it was really nice. Huh? It was very nice. Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Oh.
In our next and final episode of the Caves of Sulawesi, we are exploring one of Muna's most recently discovered caves, with more decorations than I could possibly imagine, and the remains of an endangered regional animal. So make sure to subscribe to the Dive Saga channel and consider clicking the join button to support our underwater storytelling efforts. You can also use the link or QR code to pick up an Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Thank you guys for watching and see you next time.